Hey, I'm John Greaves III. I'm the founder of Garage Gym Life, and today I'm going to talk about bringing back the best, the home gym workout equipment I wish would make a comeback. The point of this video, which I'm thinking of turning into a series, is to highlight products that I really like a lot, but that for one reason or another got discontinued. So I'm doing my part to bring them back. Yes, it could just be wishful thinking, but I don't care if this is just one man's lone crusade in the fight for justice. Like Michael Knight, I believe I can make a difference. So I'm going with it. Anyway, today's product is called the Uball. You've probably never heard of it, but the Uball is a loadable, passive mobility tool that you can use to attack trigger points and relax your muscles before and after a training session. I like the Uball because it's portable and because it combines the best elements of a lacrosse ball and a scraper tool in one device with the ability to use the weight of a barbell to replace the effects of using percussion from a massage gun. My favorite uses for the Uball are to open my chest and shoulders to allow me to bench without pain or fear of re-injuring my pec, and to open my shoulders and allow me to get the bar into the optimal position for me to squat. I currently lift on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday split, and the Uball is an amazing tool on my non-lifting days to allow me to recover from delayed onset muscle soreness related to the previous day's training. I'm not exaggerating when I say that this tool has been a game changer for me. When I first started using the Uball back in 2018, my pecs were incredibly tight, and it took a long time and a ton of horse liniment from the feed store for me to mobilize the area enough for me to train the bench without injuring myself. Yes, I said horse liniment from the feed store. I'll never forget the first time I broke out my bottle of Jack's Blue Heat and started dousing my shoulders and chest and elbows in it. And my wife was like, "What is that stuff? And why exactly is there a picture of a horse on the bottle?" I looked at her in the eye and said, "It's a metaphor for strength, courage, and power." Good times. Anyway, when Julian Sardinas, the developer of the Uball, reached out to me on Instagram and offered to send me this weird looking mobility gadget, I was skeptical, but I agreed to try it, and I was convinced after the first session. Here in my home gym, I've got a couple of different ways that I prefer to use the Uball, so let me show you how it works. Let's walk over here. See, I got a barbell set up right here, and I'll just use it to show the first way I use the Uball. Honestly, it's the way I use it most often. Take a barbell, take the Uball, it's got this little keeper right here, pull that out. And then you're gonna use that to go around the bar, sleeve, hold it in place. All right. You can put it anywhere on the sleeve you want. I just kind of put it where I felt like putting it in the moment. And then you're gonna set the Uball wherever you're gonna mobilize. So if I'm mobilizing my shoulder and chest area before I'm benching or squatting, then it's gonna go right here. See, you do have to hold the bar sleeve in place. And you can either just sit still and let the weight of the barbell push down into the muscle and relax it, or you can floss a little bit by going like that. Okay. Then, if I want to use it on, say, my calf, do some trigger point therapy on like my calf, I can put it here and use the weight of the bar to push down into my calf muscle like it is right here. It's kind of really digging in, forcing it to relax. And then finally, I can also put it here. This is something you can't do with a massage gun because you're not supposed to put a massage gun that close to your groin, but you can use the pressure of the bar here. I can also apply pressure with my arm like I am now, or I can obviously add weight to the barbell to increase the pressure. But you can also use this without a barbell. So let's take this back off. And I'll just slide this keeper back down so I don't lose it. Put the bar off to the side. All right. So you've probably heard of some of these hip flexor release devices like the So Right. Well, I can do almost the same thing with the Uball by simply setting it on the ground And then I put my hip flexor on top of it. Just like that. Lift my leg up if I want to apply a little bit more pressure. Move into it. So I get that. I can also, if I want to attack my glute, I can do the same thing, just like I could with a lacrosse ball. But unlike with a lacrosse ball, this isn't going to roll away. So I can sit on it, cross the leg, move around. Okay, get that. Say I want to work my upper back, release that. Okay, once I have it in place, I don't have to worry about, like with a lacrosse ball, especially if I'm switching sides, lacrosse ball will roll all over the place. I have to go get it. With this, it stays put. I can just lay down on it. I can even, and I really like this one, use it to release my neck. That feels great, actually. All right. I can just lay here. And then, so you see that the feet are causing it to stay put. But the other thing that's good about these feet is they have an edge. So I can use the feet as a scraper. So I can scrape my IT band. I can scrape here, my Achilles. And unlike with a gua sha, I can use this without really having to put any oil right here. Instead, I can just use, because this is not as abrasive as a metal gua sha. Just get the blood flow going to this area right here. So those are a few of the ways that I use the Uball, whether I'm here in my home gym or I'm traveling on the road with it. I have several massage guns here, but the Uball is still my go-to for releasing my chest and shoulders, especially when I'm in the heavier parts of my training cycle. You guys could see when I was using it that I'm just lying there and the weight of the barbell is doing most of the work. So I can either just lay there and let the weight of the Uball relax the muscles in that area and give me back my normal range of motion, or I can floss back and forth while the Uball is giving me trigger point therapy to increase the effectiveness of the movement. And I like that it's loadable too. When I first started using the Uball, I was so tight that it took the weight of the bar plus a 10-pound plate for me to even feel the pressure, which is not a good thing. Over time, with regular use, I was able to reduce the weight on the bar, and now I've gotten to the point where I don't even need to use the Uball for most of the year. Instead, I just stretch and use my massage gun. But there are points in my training cycle where I'm lifting heavier, trying to push my bench max. Those are the times when I break this out, because the heavy lifting combined with the fact that I'm a side sleeper causes the area where my pecs and delts meet to be extremely tight, to the point where it hurts to raise my arms out to the side, because I don't have enough space for the joints to function normally. That affects not just my bench, but also my squat, because it hurts so much to get the bar down into position that I feel it in my elbows. In fact, if you're wondering why powerlifters wear elbow sleeves when they're squatting, it's to help make the elbow pain from having extremely tight shoulders more manageable. With the Uball, I'm able to get the bar into position, and I couldn't tell you the last time that I had to wear anything on my elbows for any reason. But why not just use a massage gun for all of that? Well, as I said, I do use massage guns at times, but the advantages of the Uball over something like a massage gun or lacrosse ball are some of the ways that I use the Uball I feel are actually superior to what I could achieve with a massage gun. I prefer the Uball to a massage gun for releasing my glutes, my hip flexors, and my psoas. As I mentioned, you're not supposed to use a massage gun too close to your groin. And trying to use a massage gun on my glute just feels awkward. The U-Ball lets me hit my upper back, which I really can't do with a massage gun unless I buy a special holder, and I can't really release my neck with a massage gun, but the U-Ball is awesome for that. You guys may have seen those hip flexor release tools like the So-Right. Unlike those tools, I can use the U-Ball with the weight of a barbell if the pressure from my body weight isn't enough. And when I was demonstrating it, you can see that the U-Ball is more versatile than a lacrosse ball, because not only can I use the U-Ball by itself and it won't roll away, but I can also attach the U-Ball to a barbell to take advantage of the weight of the barbell. And I like that I can use the U-Ball to do Grastons on myself, which I can't do at all with a lacrosse ball. So essentially, the U-Ball replaces multiple mobility tools in one compact device. The problem is I'm not sure that you can buy it anymore. The original Kickstarter campaign ended successfully on November 29, 2017, after raising $10,432 from 273 backers around the world. And the final updates were sent on September 23, 2018, after all the original contributors received their U-Ball units. But as I said at the beginning of this video, this is a product that I wish would come back. And I'm hoping that this video can help start the process so that the U-Ball becomes available again. I'm actually still connected to Julian Sardinas on LinkedIn, and I reached out to him before shooting this video to get a status on the U-Ball. I wanted to see if anyone has approached him about it, or if he might be willing to bring it back. Julian doesn't seem to be doing anything fitness related right now, but I'm sure that if a brand like AbMat reached out to him, he might be willing to bring the product back to market. When Julian gets back to me, I'm going to tell him that I'm definitely willing to introduce him to Austin over at AbMat, and he can just see how it goes. This wouldn't be the first time that a product was revived by a brand that saw its potential. In fact, the AbMat was originally manufactured by Kyle McCarter on behalf of the inventor Fred Koch. When I discovered it in the late 90s, the AbMat was being sold by the now defunct Home Gym Warehouse in the back of Iron Man magazine, until Home Gym Warehouse was no longer a thing. AbMat is still being sold because Austin McCarter, Kyle McCarter's son, didn't let the product die out. The original tip bar was a product known by the unfortunate name of Dynamic Axial Resistance Device. And it was sold by a brand called SPRI. The DARD, which is what it was called for short, although that name was frankly no better. Anyway, it was in the Perform Better catalog as far back as 1998, which is when I purchased one to use it in the fitness center where I was in charge of training for special populations. It eventually went away, although it still has a product page on Amazon. But the Tib Bar guys, in partnership with Knees Over Toes guy, brought it back to prominence. And now you can find variations of the Tib Bar all over the internet, including this adjustable one that I asked my guy David Dennis at Gorilla Strength Equipment to develop for me. Want more examples? Fred Koch also developed this plate-loaded ab crunch bench that had a similar design to the AbMat, but which allowed you to add resistance. I first saw it in an article co-written by Fred Koch and Steve Holman, who was editor-in-chief of Iron Man magazine at the time. I don't know how well it sold, but that product disappeared, and then I discovered a couple years ago that Body Solid had kept the ab bench going through their Powerline fitness equipment line. So I know that it's possible to bring back designs that make sense. There are some hurdles to overcome to bring back the U-Ball, including the fact that the completely unrelated sport of U-Ball now exists. But I think this product can still make a comeback. All it takes is for someone to see the potential. I hope that happens for the U-Ball. I don't have any financial interest in this product. I just like it. And quite frankly, if this video is able to help an entrepreneur like Julian revive his dream while helping home gym owners in the process, I'm all for it. So that's it. This video was kind of long, but I enjoyed the trip down memory lane, digging into the history of these products for you. But what did you think? Drop a comment and let me know if you guys enjoyed watching this sort of content from me, and also whether you'd like to see the U-Ball return to market. And if you've got an idea for a future episode, go ahead and put the name of the home gym product that you'd like to see make a comeback in the comments as well. If I use your idea, I will definitely give you credit when I shoot the video.